Good morning, good day, good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. I am Sue Pickering. I'm here with Tara from TSW Life Coaching. We are here to do our morning musings, and we were having a little chat before we got on. So Tara decided to pull a few cards. So that is our topic today, is the cards that she pulled. Do you want to hold them up there, Tara?
Well, I put them away.
Oh, did you? Okay, that's okay. We have the moon with renewal, which is number 2, and we have clock with patience, number 21. And one of the things that I noticed right away was number 2, and then 21 adds up to 3. So I'm just feeling like there's this knowing with this renewal, and then the patience comes after to follow. It is just like numerical order, which is really cool what came to me.
Nice. Um, I think for me, the renewal part with just having this full moon, which totally kicked my ass, but is that what kind of came up for me with the cards and timing and patience is that there's a time for everything. And our bodies, our souls, our path are on a divine plan, on a divine timing. And so we so get caught up in ego timing rather than divine timing. And we get caught up in, well, I need to do more than, like even with healing, it's like, well, I must be missing something, so I need to do more, which, yeah, is an easy trap to get caught up in because it's not happening when we expect it, but that's when we expect it, not when the universe has planned it.
Exactly, exactly. And it takes you out of flow. And when you're out of flow, you're out of connection, and your intuition. So that is a big piece of it for sure.
And when you're out of flow, things get more like it's like a cycle. So as soon as you step out of alignment, then you get into ego, and that's where ego starts to try and control. So then you try and manipulate and control. Then it brings you down all these other things,
Yeah.
which is beautiful in a way because obviously there's like that's what I keep getting. When something brings me out, it's like, oh, okay, thank you for the deeper lesson. Thank you for showing me where I'm still not trusting
Yeah.
or where I'm still not letting go. But yeah, divine timing can be, and having that patience can be something that's really frustrating because we are so conditioned in our world to when, when. Um, or, like I just remember from a long time ago in my life when we would set goals, and they had to be smart goals and measurable and everything else. It's like, yeah, when you play the universe's game, that doesn't even come in. That's not even part of the context.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a learning thing.
Yeah. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. With the divine timing, it's if something that you're striving for comes too soon, like happens too soon, you might not be prepared for it, and then it's going to fall apart, right?
Mhm.
So the divine timing for me a lot is about um being in that space that um you're prepared, you have all the knowing, you're in your power, you're in all the things that you need to have it happen. And then it happens the way it's supposed to. Then you find the success or whatever it is that the timing is about, right? Um, or then if not, then maybe there's I know you don't like to use the word lesson, but some learning there, right? So,
Mhm. Um, well, and I don't mind lesson. It's tests that I don't like.
all right.
It is one of those.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And I think too, there was something else, but now it threw me. Um, oh, I think when we go into that cycle of, I'm looking out the window at my tree. I think if we go into that cycle of trying to control the time and everything, we are pushing something that's not ready yet. And what did I just see the other day? It was a poster. I read it somewhere, or maybe it came to me. It's like taking something out of the oven that you're baking. It's not ready yet. So you wouldn't eat like a sloppy cupcake. You would wait till it's done. And that's not up to us to decide when it's done.
Yep. And
Oh,
you,
and that's,
yep.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I was just gonna say, and again, it's that we think we know when that is, but it's not up to us because even if you use that scenario of the baker, it's up to the flour, it's up to the egg, it's up to a whole bunch of other things have to come into play. So it couldn't, it maybe it isn't us. Maybe I am personally ready for whatever, but the egg's not, or,
Yep.
other people aren't, or whatever, because the universe has all of it to bring together. And so everything has to be aligned. And maybe, maybe it is that I have more to learn, or maybe it is that I'm not at that frequency to hold that, or maybe it's someone else's not. And so we can't be brought together to do a business agreement or a relationship or whatever because they're not ready, because they have not learned that lesson that they need to be brought together. So it's not always about us either.
Yeah, I love that. I love that analogy too about the baking. It's just like, you know, waiting to cook your meal, right? You have to go to the store. Even if you want it to be prepared for 5 o'clock, it might not happen, right? You might have to, cook it longer or whatever. But do we ever question that though? Do we ever question that, you know, I can't wait. I'm just going to eat the cupcake. We don't ever question that. We might make it undercooked a little bit, but
Yeah.
we don't go, well, I'm ready, so I'm just going to go eat it. Well, it doesn't work that way. So that's total trust in that the oven is going to bake it. And I know I have to have that patience in waiting.
Hmm.
Whether you have patience or not, opening and closing the door is going to take longer, right? It's just
Exactly.
like,
And ruin it possibly, to
yeah,
be fair, in the baking scenario. And not that I think we can ruin our destiny, but we can definitely postpone it longer, I think. Um,
yeah,
because if we are constantly in that loop, because like we said, it brings you out of flow. So whatever you are supposed to be flowing into, if you're constantly checking it and doing things, then maybe it's going to make it a little bit longer.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think about what I'm seeing as a child waiting to eat because they're hungry. We just tell them you have to wait, right? But when we as adults have to wait for a project or something to be built or, finding a house to live in, that we constantly are, you know what, let's get this done. Let's hurry up. We can't wait. And, we tend to do that, but it's okay for us to tell a child to wait for the cupcake, right?
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
that analogy. I've never thought of it that way. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from,
Yeah.
but along with that, about I keep coming. It was a full moon last night. I'm on full moon hangover today. Um, and solar flare hangover. But there was something I was gonna say about that. What was it? Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. The child, maybe something about the child.
Oh, patience. I
Patience.
think it was. I think a lot of times we've been conditioned to think patience means struggle rather than it just being, because even, like with flowers and things like that, we don't rush it, we let it happen. And that's, we've so been conditioned to stay out of that, to, well, if you want something, make it happen, push for it, that kind of thing. And that pushes us out of that patience, that pushes us out of that alignment, pushes us into needing to make it happen.
Yeah. And it pushes us into our masculine, and then we forget the feminine, right?
Wounded masculine.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
totally. And
Yeah.
that's exactly it. The divine feminine is all about flow.
Yeah.
and all about that. Just being with the moment and being where you are and enjoying where you are because you're there for a reason. And
Yeah.
you may be held there for a while because that's where you need to be. And and again, I say maybe it's not because of you, maybe it's because of something else. Something else isn't ready yet.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are really struggling with the patience thing right now, especially people who are spiritually kind of aware, are like, hey, when is this going to happen? And I don't know what's going to happen. You know more so than I do. But, like they talk about the grand flash and all that kind of thing, or we see society changing. But I know a lot of people are like, when? And they're waiting, waiting, waiting. And it's patience is about allowing things to flow how they need to flow and let people awaken in their own time, which can be really hard with family if you're kind of aware and family and friends are not there yet, but it's going to happen in the time that it's supposed to
Yeah.
when they are ready.
Yeah. And also the patience also takes us out of the now moment, out of being present, because we're totally not present when we're being impatient, or we're, not we're pulling ourselves out of ourselves,
Hmm.
so to speak, right? And I think that, as you talked about spiritual people for a big part of it, they see and know that where they're going is where they're supposed to be going. They're working on themselves, they're doing the things, but why isn't it already happening? I feel, this is my own personal, don't come at me, but I feel it's like a lot, not all, but a lot of spiritual people are doing, the light workers are helping people. They're almost ahead of their time. People are catching up. And if you're always one step ahead, you're never really in a space where you're really truly helping people, because you're always that one step ahead. So it's like waiting for the people to catch up, waiting for, you to be able to give your services where it's needed. And now I'm off topic, but um,
No, that's fine.
staying in the now is so important, because you're not in flow when you're being waiting for the things to happen. You're definitely not in flow
No,
and
you're not.
trust. Yeah.
And you're missing that present moment. And that present moment is what it's supposed to be for you at that moment. It's not what that moment is supposed to be 10 minutes from now. It's what this moment is right now. And the other thing I was going to say with what you said about the patients and the light workers and all of that, is I think a lot don't realize that their energy is important and it's needed at this time, and not, I think a lot, and I definitely got stuck in this, and it's a hard thing to get used to, is it's not actually me doing the work, it's me just holding that frequency
Yes.
and being that. And so it's not necessarily about physically doing something, it's being that and holding that. And that is what's moving our planet. And so we so want the tangible. We want the clients, or we want to be doing the work, or we want to be doing the reading. But sometimes it's just that us being and holding that frequency holds it for the world and is doing stuff. And we anchor that into the grid lines and we anchor that into the world. And so, again, we are doing what we need to do. It's just not anything that we can cognitively say we've done.
Yeah, that's right. And that's so important, that holding that frequency. Um, I hear a lot of people say, we're the earth is changing. I say it all the time. But it's not that, yes, the earth is changing because we're growing, we're evolving, we're moving, but we're already here. It's not coming, it's we're here in it. And holding that frequency right now is so important for the rest to be able to follow in, right? follow in. I don't know if that's the right choice. Be part of that frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is because it's like a lighthouse, right?
Yeah.
And so the more we can stand and be that lighthouse, the brighter our light shines out. And I know I've read too that one enlightened person can awaken, was it 750,000 people? So holding that light is hard. And holding that light takes effort and it takes consciousness and it takes um, work, but doesn't feel like work. And so I think that's where a lot of light workers and empaths and things like that are getting trapped in the, but I want to be doing something. And there's no judgment because I do that and I still do it when I have to remind myself, this is my job right now. This is the universe giving me the work to do right now by being and holding that frequency
Yeah.
in the chaos.
Yeah. By being, I like that rather than doing being. Um, so this is what's coming in. I listened to, I don't know who it was. It was, I believe it was on YouTube. And it was about a person being on stage, and then the front row, the front, however, 1,000 people were like, because they're so close to it, they're holding the energy. And in order for them to hold that energy, or in order for it to spread, they had to hold that energy. Then the next 1,000 people kind of follow in and they hold the energy, and it just keeps coming. But if you didn't have anyone holding that energy, it just doesn't happen. It
Mhm.
doesn't, we don't shift and change, right? And sometimes we want that to happen faster than what it needs to be. If it happens too fast, then everything just falls away, right? There's your lesson, or there's your, you know, however you want to look at it, right?
Yeah.
But you have to be able to hold that. You're right. I love that.
Mhm. And that just brings us back to that divine timing thing. Because sometimes, although we may know what's coming or we've seen in our own lives what's coming, we need to be of that frequency. And that doesn't mean that you need to do anything to be in that and hold that.
Yeah.
It just means that you need to be that. And maybe you're not ready. Maybe physically you're not ready. Maybe your body's not ready. Maybe you just can't hold that frequency yet. Um, Maybe there is lessons. Maybe there's not. Maybe it's just that things haven't come that way. I know, and like when I do soul alignment too, and I think I've said this before, it amazes me how um, things like I'll get drawn to things and then I'll kind of get like the next step or I'll get like two steps ahead and then I'll go to do it and it's like no, you have to do this first and it's like there is a way that it's supposed to happen and that's not up to me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish it was, but it's not.
Yeah. Right.
um and again, I could push it and I don't know, I don't think it would harm anything, but that's not the way it's meant to unravel.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that with my body right now too. My body is unraveling the way it needs to. My body is learning to hold this light the way it needs to, not the way my mind thinks it should. And having that patience can be difficult.
Yeah. And I love that the moon card came out with it, because the moon is all about clarity. It's about seeing both sides. It's about getting clear on what you need for the patients, right? What do I need to know that I'm needing to feel that I need to know this because I can't wait, or do, or whatever, right? So that's about all of it's so cool that they came out together. I just think it's just awesome.
And the moon too, because it's powerful energy.
It is.
Um, and to me, the moon speaks to being in flow.
Yeah.
I think it's actually masculine energy, the moon itself,
It
or
probably
is the
is.
sun masculine?
I would think the moon is masculine.
So I think so too, but something tells me that I've read that it's feminine.
Yeah.
But anyway, the moon is all about flowing.
Yeah.
It flows in the cycle that it flows in. Um, and yeah, to me, that's what it speaks to. It's about flowing with that cycle,
Yeah, I was
flowing with it.
I just wrote down on my paper cycles, the moon and cycles, and you just said it.
Yeah. Oh, that's now I remember what I was thinking we should talk about cycles.
There you go. And we got on the topic.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. And
Um,
and knowing that it is a cycle, right? The patience is a cycle because guess what? It's gonna evolve and it's gonna happen. It's just a cycle to get there.
everything is cycles. Everything. And I mean, we talk a lot about like the divine feminine and being in that. Oh, sorry, someone's calling.
That's okay.
Um, we talk about being in cycles and in flow, and that's the same thing as being within the feminine cycle. So we have the cycles of seasons, talking about spring is when we rebirth coming up. We talk about like even within our monthly cycles for females, we have times where we should be creative, we have times where we should be resting because that's going in tune with that cycle. um, and just really coming in tune with that, the cycles as they're meant to be, is very much a part of being patient and allowing when it's supposed to be.
Yeah, very much so. And even if we don't understand how the cycle is going to, when the cycle is going to be completed, or when we have to, be more in flow, sometimes we don't understand that. But if we don't slow it down to understand it and be, how do we ever get there how we're meant to?
Well, and it's cycles within cycles within cycles. And so, yeah, and that just came to me. That's how you get the spiral because
I
it's
just
cycles
was
and
gonna say that.
you
Wait till
too.
you finish. I'm like, the spiral.
Well, exactly, because
Oh
we
my gosh.
are, I mean, even just in the exterior, we look at the season cycle and then the lunar cycle, and like we're in cycles and cycles and cycles. And so it's a matter of finding that balance and that alignment with all of the cycles, no matter which ones you're in, because then you add in the personal, like your life cycle and things like that. Like, are you in adolescence? Are you in, whatever cycle that may be too? So it's about finding that harmony is the word that really resonates with me, is finding that harmony and balance within all of the cycles,
Yeah, the ebb and
exterior and
flow.
internal.
Yeah, the ebb and flow of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's why flow is so important
that's right.
because
And
it's
the ebb and
constantly moving.
That's right.
Sorry.
And the ebb and flow is no different than the moon comes out every night and the sun comes up every day, right? It's ebb and flow. It's in and out. Um, we trust and know that the moon is coming out every night. We don't have to wonder and wait for it to happen. We just know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Same as the sun, right? It's so you can look at it that way too with patience.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Not
don't
time yet. It's not time for the sun to come up, so we'll just wait, right?
some people are like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'm up before the sun every day, so
Yeah, and I think that's a beautiful analogy for it. It's just allowing it to be as it needs to be.
yeah.
We're not like, oh, you're 1 minute late. Like, where are you? Come on, my time.
Yeah.
No, we
Yeah.
let it be. We just let it be.
Yeah.
Sometimes we complain about it a lot, but we let it be.
Yeah. That's right. So,
Yeah,
okay. I think that's good for today. That was exciting.
it
That was
was.
good. Um, put
It's
in
so
the chat
funny
if you
that that
know if,
came.
pardon?
It's so funny that that came out. The
Yeah.
cycles.
Yeah, that's cool. And if you know if the moon is masculine, feminine, put it in the chat.
I'm gonna look it
I'm
up.
gonna
It's in
look it
one of
up
my
too.
flower essences, and I think it's. I know exactly which one it is. I'll put it in the comments. I'm pretty sure the sun is masculine, so that means the moon is feminine.
Okay. I thought it was I don't know. I have no clue. I just am getting what I'm getting, but maybe I'm You know what? How about we look right now?
It could be both. I was just
Think?
thinking because they would be both energies. They would have both, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
Like
I don't know.
everything.
Let's see what it says here. Ah, personified as feminine in many traditions, it is masculine in other. Neutral
Oh,
in modern, in like they're just talking more of the language, I guess. But um, yeah. Uh, the moon is often linked to the mind and can have both feminine and masculine facets. That's according to the Vedic astrology.
mm.
Yeah.
I
So
would say both.
yeah, that's what it says.
Mm-hmm. Because I even like the flower essence, it says the moon is more um a reflection, so it's more of that feminine. It's that, but I think like everything, it would have to have masculine and feminine.
Yeah, it's purely symbolic. It says here, ultimately, the moon is an inanimate celestial body without a biological gender, making its assignment purely symbolic. So I'll go do some more reading on it, but yeah, that's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's funny how we're like, no, I think it's masculine. No, I think it's it's
I know,
because it's
right?
both.
It's
There was
both.
no
I think
clarity
it's
there.
both.
Yeah, that's cool.
I feel it's both, and yeah, just when I
Because at
sat,
first you said feminine, then you said masculine, and I said more masculine, and you wavered. So there you go. You
yeah,
got it. Yeah,
just the more I sat with it, the more I think it's both.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's
They
the ebb and
both
flow,
belong.
right? If you think about it, the ebb and flow, you know, the moon changes, right? It changes the frequency on Earth. It changes the water. It changes everything. And because it is a daily cycle where it comes around, but it changes.
Hmm.
So, and sometimes if it's a full moon, um, manifesting. If it's a, or full moon is letting go. New moon is manifesting. For most people, I'm the opposite. I feel the opposite, complete opposite of that. So I
Yeah,
just trust and know that that's how my body is. But it's that cycle, right? It is all of it, masculine and
that's
feminine.
so interesting that you said that you feel the opposite, like the full moon is intention. And I just go with whatever I feel too, like I know you do. And maybe that's that whole masculine feminine. Maybe it depends on where we're at in our journey that that's what we feel
Yeah,
the
yeah. I usually feel full moon. I am just like, I am so much energy. I feel good. Where the new moon, 3 days before the new moon comes out, I'm like, oh, okay, I have to look at some things, right? It's just how things come up more
Mhm.
around the new moon for me. But
Yeah. Well, they say even with like the feminine cycle, because usually they always say you should have it. I mean, who's they? But should have it on the full moon. But I was reading that you'll switch between the full moon, new moon, and obviously, so there'll be times in between because it takes time to make it switch,
yeah.
depending on where you are in your life cycle. So if you are more in like the maiden mother kind of era, then you'll be more, I can't even remember what it was, but you switch between them, between where you are in your own cycle and then again where you are on your own journey.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe you are more, if you're in that new moon, then maybe you're more in that maiden cycle, which is that creative cycle. And
Definitely there.
so
That's where I'm at.
that fluctuates too. So nothing is written in stone.
Yep.
Everything is flowing.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
And thanks for listening again. And we will catch you in 2 weeks. Have a good one.
You.